Welcome to Dr. Khadar Lifestyle.
That are making lunch, which is millet bisibade baat and a sweet, for lunch today. So thanks to the kitchen team as well. They're volunteers. And so without further delay, Dr. Khan. Color mic. ಅಲ್ಲ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇದು there is a I can get you a chair.
Not chair. You can keep this.
Yes. Hey, there is a stand, mic stand.
Actually, I was disturbed first when I came to America. A small 6-year-old girl starting with menstruation cycles at that particular young age, and, which is very disturbing for me as a scientist. That means we have disturbed the hormonal balance of human race, though it was one single case at that time. But then now average age of women, it's confusing. Girl becoming woman, that is now around 8 years or 9 years on this planet. Including in India and small villages, girls are menstruating very early. So this was 1986 or 7. So what actually happened is simple. For some reason, European and American women did not want to feed their babies. It was time consuming or whatever reasons. I cannot fathom the reasons why they wanted to get away from that act. So these scientists took some cows from India. For heaven's sake, there are no cows in America or Europe to start. They borrowed one or stole one or whatever. They did IVF. In vitro fertilization was first discovered for that reason, because they wanted every cow to give milk. They want to substitute mother's milk to the babies from the cow's milk. Not that giving cow's milk to the babies is not known to human race, but it was, I think, very rare when the mother was not feeding, when something went wrong or something like that. And in different parts of the world, different parts of the world, different animals were used for their occasions. But on the whole, the human babies were fed grains milk, like foxtail millet milk, bajra milk, coconut milk. And in Europe and Northern America, I think they were feeding pine nut milk, or these kinds of nuts were actually soaked and milk was made, and those milk were substituted once mother's milk started stopping when they had to wean. So basically mother's milk is switched off. The same time the baby's tummy stops digesting the milk. There is no enzyme that can digest the milk. It is also switched off. It is synchronized as the mother's. So this is all natural stuff, and the constituents of the mother's milk is actually very dynamic. It keeps changing as the baby grows, and so the hormonal ratio, the balance in the mother's milk fits the growth of the baby, and all that is calculated, very minute. But then here we are as a whole introduce IVF. That's because all the cows are not bearing to give calf and then milk. So they said, if you take care of 100 cows, only 10 cows give milk. That's not sound for economic off to these companies. Our Indian government writes off 2.39 lakh crores to these companies to provide fertilizers and pesticides to the farmers. And that's the same thing in America too. It's much more acute. They decide what to grow, what not. The farmers have nothing to do with that. There are apex bodies growing the food here. You understand this business? So the rice that you think you are eating kilo 50 rupees in India is actually costing 3,000 rupees for each and every kilo produced. And that is not accounted. And so even the so-called intellectuals think rice is 50 rupees, and when I grow millets and provide them at the cost of 100 rupees per kilo, that is costly, this is cheap. 100 rupees is absolute price, nothing at all. And here we have more than 3,000 rupees, we are all put in, set up by God to be your food. They increase gut microbes, they eliminate hormonal imbalance, they don't even cause glucose imbalance because the fiber associated with the carbohydrate does not allow the carbohydrate to become glucose in one single shot as it does with rice and wheat and sugar. Are you seeing the distinct difference and how this is advantageous scientifically and how this is disadvantageous, and it is very unscientific. That means, according to me, as a Khadar, Dr. Khadar scientist, human beings eating rice, wheat and sugar is the most unscientific thing that can be propagated. Because sugar, the moment you put in your mouth, even 1 milligram becomes glucose. Half milligram is glucose. Tabak. So if you eat one gulab jamun, that's our sweet. Your donut, one donut. No donut. She doesn't like it. Excellent. So one donut or one gulab jamun, you are dumping almost 10 to 15 grams of glucose in your bloodstream. And how much do you need? 5 grams of glucose at any given point of time. Just one gulab jamun. It doesn't stop there. You have idlis if you are South Indian, if you are North Indian, parathas, 2-3 parathas, minimum of 30 to 50 grams of glucose. And then post breakfast some sweet should be there. If you are a Gujarati, jalebi. I have seen, I went to Ahmedabad, one fellow was half kilo jalebi breakfast. So another 30 grams. Then after that coffee, cup of coffee. Nowadays these guys who come to America, they see coffee, people are drinking in mugs. Back in India we drink only this much coffee. But then these guys come and say, they come and teach us. We started also doing this big coffee. So if you calculate, that's another 10 grams of glucose. What I am telling you, this much coffee is only 3 grams or 4 grams of sugar. But now you will make this much insulin. On top of it, all these cool drinks have come, each drink having 40 grams, 50 grams, 100 ml to 200 ml. You drink all these so-called cool drinks, you have sugar. So you're loading themselves, sugar shock. No problem, I become monk. Endocrine system, the juices of these ductless glands has to be actually fed into the blood directly. So when the blood becomes thick, all the juices cannot even enter the stream. So they start accumulating in themselves. Then the endocrine system now is going here. So now you have TSH high yields. So you take a tablet. Thyroid fellow, take it. Now 28% of American women are detected with thyroid. Collar, gobble up, another. Can you see how we are manufacturing diseases? So how do you get out of this? Eat millets which actually control the release of glucose into your body because they are loaded with fiber around the carbohydrate. So if your digestive system has to get glucose into blood, it has to figure out a way of removing the fiber from the carbohydrate or other way around. And the docking system of the enzyme is confused because you have fiber around. So it goes and then it looks at it, it's not available, so let me work around it. So it takes time. So the glucose is released slowly and steadily into your bloodstream. That's Godmade and that's exactly what you want. Even if I feel my tummy perfectly placed. So if you eat millets whose fiber content is 8 grams, in foxtail millet you have 8 grams. Raju, can you give me the phone? I want to know how much time I can. I don't want to go on babbling like this. No, I know I have enough time, but I want to be aware of it. Now, when did we start? What time? 10:05. So already 10:59. Till you get bored, I will speak. So where are we? Foxtail millet has got 8 grams of fiber content with approximately 63% or. So if you divide that carbohydrate by fiber content, you get single digit. Brown top millet has actually got 69% of carbohydrate, but 12.5% of fiber. So you get 5.5 or something like that. So these 5 grains called minor millets, kodo millet, foxtail millet, barnyard millet, brown top millet and little millet have got their carbohydrate by fiber ratio into single digits. That's below 10. There are another set of 5 millets, proso millet, finger millet, pearl millet, great millet, and another is not millet, neutral grains, because the finger millet has got 3.6 fiber content and the remaining are below. So when you see carbohydrate by, they are into double digits, 20, 25, 50, 55. And when you come to rice and wheat, it is 79 in wheat, 1.2 gram and 75 or something like that. And wheat is 75 or 79 and rice has got only 0.2 grams, just the top layer, and the remaining all is carbohydrate, pishta we call in Sanskrit. So the ratio is 395. So if it is way beyond, the number is increasing and they exactly can cause, and it is the present day experts are calling glycemic index. That's a calculated number. It is not a right way of checking it. So right way of putting it across to you is that if you take a grain, if it releases glucose slowly and steadily into your bloodstream, that can heal you. Apart from producing glucose slowly and steadily and maintaining the balance, which alone can heal many of your so-called lifestyle or lifetime diseases. That is thyroid, rheumatism, obesity, this, that, all this list of diseases. So it is the food that gives you health, that prevents all these diseases. And if you do not take milk, the animal milk, and substitute with many of these millets, you can make milk from foxtail, mixed milk from little millet, milk from kodo milk, just grains. Remove the husk, soak it for 8 to 10 hours and grind it, put it in a cotton cloth and squeeze, you get the milk. And that you warm or you make some dish, some different recipes. That is itself will give you, in fact you can feed your babies coconut milk, groundnut milk, bajra milk. In fact the major millets size is bigger than these minor millets. That's why I call major millets minor millets. So ragi actually harbors 4 times more calcium, absorbable calcium, than the milk that these experts said. I know how much milk has any calcium. It is only 900 milligrams per liter. That's why I ask these doctors and experts, show me the calcium in milk. Actually, when I went back and started telling the villagers and the consumers of this, there is no calcium in milk. Then even a small baby in a village, if you want calcium, drink milk. She's telling me back. And all the experts, anyone, even so-called educated big professors, milk, calcium. So all are drinking milk. Oh, menopause, you need calcium, drink calcium, milk. You are actually disturbing your hormones much worse. Things are like. So you just substitute and take coconut milk or groundnut milk or ragi milk or sesame seed milk. Why did I say sesame seed milk? Sesame seeds have got 10 times more calcium than your milk. Gram to gram, 10 times more. If you take 1 kilo, you got 10 grams of calcium. In fact, that proof is all over the world. All kinds of communities use sesame seeds. Even they are making bread. Any time and everywhere they are sticking sesame seed. You go to old and ancient methods, everyone uses them. All over the planet. Because it has got 10 times more calcium. Do you see any expert, any doctor telling you if you have calcium problem, eat sesame seed laddu? Dr. Khadar is the first doctor telling people to do so. And we have eliminated all these nonsensical problems of women when they started drinking sesame seed milk, finger millet milk. So many problems, endometriosis, PCOD. Nowadays girls are, 90% of the girls have PCOS or PCOD. So like this, we have been analyzing each and everything that goes into your mouth and found the alternative systems that were used by ancestors, not only in India. In fact, I have traveled to many other places and figured out that they were more scientific than the so-called science in quotes. Technique by Charaka, he says there is medicine all around you if you are sick. You don't need to go anywhere. So everyone can find the leaves, creepers, trees providing you medicine. It is just the naturalist should know what is around, and this experimentation has to go on. We have done the experiments all over India, 60 to 70 common leaves that are available still for common man. I'm not talking about going into the forest, and there are many more these wonderful medicinal plants. And like that, Bohirhavia diffusa, a small plant leaf, when you take its decoction, it can dissolve kidney stones in your body. It can help the CKD patients, chronic kidney disease patients, creatinine can come down. Like that, for each condition we have worked out. And cancerous condition, the parijat, it's called Nyctanthus arbor tristis in English. Amrutpalka patta, that is guava fruit leaf, and people leaf. These three leaves, decoctions, have helped thousands of cancerous conditions, overall, in general. And there are particular defined decoctions for each kind of cancer, say breast cancer, bone cancer, blood cancer. So we have tabulated all this into the PDF. You can see the decoctions and the food and the particular oils if you are affected in the nervous system or in the endocrine system. So all these are diligently and meticulously worked out in the PDF. They are called updated protocols are there. We have been working, collecting the data. Every 2 years we are updating, but I believe right now that we have reached almost to a fruitful, full edition. And what I am trying to tell you, there may not be many more additions in the coming future, maybe 4 or 5 years it may take. So that means we have actually got a complete what to do, what not to do, and even that one page is there in the book. So it's only 30 pages handbook. We didn't want to fill in all. People's attention is now not one page, one paragraph, that's all. But you got to read the 30 pages, understand the essence, and there is one big book of 150 pages, Siri Jagattu, lot of information. If people who are interested in the science of it, you can dwell into it. And there is one more book, cookbook, how to cook. So cooking is a must for you to be healthy, and so teach your husbands, your sons, your daughters, because in the cities all PGs, they don't know what they are cooking, they don't know what they are eating, and all these orders and pizza, burgers, all these nonsensical things. The sad thing is pizza in New York, pizza in Bangalore, pizza in Chamarajanagar, pizza in Dubai, they same taste. Absolutely same taste. I can't believe this. That means they are using taste powders. They are standardizing, smoothing the curve, in the graphs. They just, whatever they do, they have the final touch, finished. Sadly, in India, now if you go to a marriage, the catering fellows are using the same technique. So I go to this fellow marriage, the same taste, that fellow's marriage also same taste. This is what chemicals do for you. So these are, for me, these are life-threatening trends. But they are very good business proposals. So please be aware. Keep away yourself and your kids from these nonsensical things. So when I go to marriages, I shake my hand and come out. I don't want even to enter that kitchen side. Or I eat first and go. I am hungry afterwards, time. So these are the kinds of things that I do. So you want to be healthy, go to your kitchen, learn cooking, teach your kids cooking. Thank you. And they want to cure themselves and again press the smartphones. No, it's not my job. I have just initiated the job. It's all our job. The human race has to proceed into future. You better start doing. So to begin with, at least start eating. And the farmers have to be educated. That we have done. Actually, we have taught more than 10,000 farmers from my side. In the last 10 years, I have trained 10,000 farmers, more than that. Every week, we had 100 to 150 farmers. I created a jungle and farming methods. In fact, I have a different chapters in the book. How do you do farming without all these inputs? And sustainable farming, and secured farming, and sovereign farming. See, people are all talking, all the experts, policymakers are talking food security. And food security and food sovereignty are both two sides of the same coin. So you cannot say food security without talking the food sovereignty. That means the seeds and rights of the seeds should be resting with the farmers, not with the corporate companies.
I would like to offer myself to take this journey forward for next
Welcome.
generation.
Welcome. We all need to make the planet a better living place for the future generation.
So he is with Texas Goshala. So they run a Goshala.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, even if you want to have disease-free cows,
Yes.
we have done this experiment. We have fed for the last 4 years 300 cows. Not even a single cow has seen doctor, including this so-called skin lumps disease. Not even once cow. So you want to save your cows, grow millets.
Sure.
So one last question.
Yes. Can you talk about the role of fat in its consumption? A little bit, whatever you like.
Fat.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Fat is a very funny substance. That's what your brain is made of, that's what your liver is made of, that was your kidney is made of. and that's what is your nerves made of. So if you do not eat right fat when the baby is born, when the baby is made in a woman's tummy, and you are going to get mentally retarded and all these different things that I have mentioned in my lecture. So we in fact have a 6 months to 1 year protocol for parents wanting to bear kids. If you follow that, we can guarantee healthy baby, because it is the fat that is to be right. If not, your systems will go wrong. And another important thing is even heart, some muscular mass are made of fat, and the last breath, what takes that electric signal is the fats. This cis-trans transition of the double bond that can kick in, that can stop. So, in fact, in our country, there is a practice that if a fellow is dead, supposed to be dead, then all the people in the family take sesame seed, put in his mouth and say Narayana, Narayana. If that fellow comes up live, Narayana means any Atma is Narayana, so you call that. So sesame seed I have put and the fellow is not come alive. That means he is dead, you can take him. That's why it's called Tilanjali. And what does it? There is a fat material in that which can actually, if there is a life left, can kickstart the life of the heart. And that's the same thing, actually one of the fat materials. You go to this hibernating bears, hibernating frogs, when the temperature hits, they are hibernating. When the sun ray hits, the first light, that small energy flips the double bond and the heart starts functioning. 1 minute, let me finish. The fats. So fats are various kinds. So this saturated, unsaturated, double bond, that flipping, flopping does these miracles. So if you do not have right fat content when the baby is born, and if your kitchen doesn't use these kinds of, and they are actually the cleaning substances of these wonderful organs. So if you have nervous system disorders, you better have 3 to 4, 5 spoons of these wonderful oils that are made naturally in that Chakki, Ghana, bull-driven oils. And we have established a lot of these systems. In fact, we have been bringing back the Chakki, bull-driven Ghani oils, which are the right way of making the oils. Be it saffron oil, coconut oil, till oil, or Niger seed oil. In fact, Niger seed oil is proven to be fantastic oil that can rejuvenate the lost nervous systems and centers in the brain. We have seen a lot of mentally retarded kids behaving normally. So that's about fats in short. There are a lot more we can discuss. Thank you.
Yeah, online questions.
So we have two people watching on Zoom. A lot of them are watching on Zoom, and there are two questions from them. First one is, what is the shelf life or the validity of millet flours? Like bajra, jowar, tastes sour and bitter after 2 to 3 weeks. But here in the US, we don't get fresh millet flours. Is it fine if we eat those high shelf life millet flours?
Your life becomes short. This shelf life is actually from this war technology. And that's what created all the problems of the human race. It is that bomb material converted into fertilizers. Because the bombs cannot be used in the war if they are sitting in the shelf for, in fact the word shelf life came from there. So I make a lot of bombs for a war and I don't use some of them. So I do not know whether the bomb can be used in the next war after 3-4 years. So they have to dispose. And that's how they found fertilizers, that's how this green revolution came in. You understand? So food should be fresh. So you cannot go on in the name of food technology, keep back this, that, all that. So you grow your food, you eat. Especially vegetables, fruits, sabji, all that should be very fresh. grains become rancid because there is little bit of oil in every grain. The fat content is there. So once you dehusk and open it up as flour or suji, the oils due to photochemical reactions and air and all that start becoming. So you want to store your things, you store them without dehusking. Then you can keep it for years together. Whenever you want, you develop the dehusking techniques in your house, make rava, atta. All these attas should be actually within 5 to 10 days you should use. You'll have no problems. But then I don't want to discredit all the technologies. Nowadays there are technologies which can preserve without using chemicals like vacuum sealing and things like that. They are highly cost oriented. So you got to choose. I hope I have answered the question, though I have not given you a complete answer. But for me it's all being involved in the kitchen and cooking. Cooking is for me like the ultimate thing. So I don't want people to go and say, in fact all your questions are actually shelf life. I mean, can I do this? Long time. And I want to reduce my work and use this and that. So I am discouraging you from going away from kitchen. So please come back to kitchen. Please, that's where your life and health is. And I enjoy cooking. It's absolutely beautiful.
One more question. Sometimes it becomes difficult for someone to digest millet, so it's jowar, bhakri. Is there
Bajra.
Bajra.
Bhakri is a type of dish made out.
Okay.
One of the northern
Bahar
Indian.
bhakri, that's what
Yeah.
she put. Is there anything one can do for smooth digestion of millet?
Absolutely. Just soak the grains, cook the dishes. Absolutely. 6 months old baby to 108-year-old persons. No problems whatsoever. Grains have to be soaked, and especially dicots, that is pulses and lentils. You soak them well, wash them well, because there are some anti-nutrients in the pulses in large quantities. It's not the case with millets. And their percentage is almost 100 times less. So millets, no problem. But soaking is a must, because the fiber, your cleaning agent, your health giver, it is not just nutrition that millets have. They have the cleaning and health giving, healing capacities. So soaking is the most important activity that you have to engage in. So soak the grains well. Even if it is flour, you want to mix your roti atta, keep it for 2 to 3 hours. Rest the flour. This is an important technique that everyone should learn. Even if you want to bake bread in this, rest the flour, because that soaking has to take place. The fiber has to get hydrated.
Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like, share and don't forget to subscribe our channel Dr. Khadar Lifestyle. Press the below bell icon to get notifications.